Welcome, everyone, to the Sunny Coast very own podcast called The Referral Wave. My name's Tony Cross, and by day, my business is Drive Connect Car Brokers. But today, I'm hosting this great podcast, and we're going off the Sunny Coast a little bit today. We're going to talk to Les all the way up in North Queensland in Cairns from Telematics for you. Welcome along, Les.
Thanks, Tony. Much appreciated.
No worries at all. I'm trying to run a few people that I've met down at the conference. So we'll obviously talk about your BNI experience, as well as a bit of conference stuff, just to spread the word about how good it was. But first off, tell us a little bit about you and your business. What do you do up there?
Okay, so telematics for you is a GPS and fleet management business. Basically, we're empowering business owners to take more insight into their outbound fleet, people that they don't get to see all day, every day. And basically how we do that is by monitoring the driver behaviours of staff members. So, most businesses, they have a sign written vehicle and their reputation's on the line. So if we can help those business owners by giving them the insights into seeing this type of activity, which leads to better outcomes for them, customer service, fuel costs, lowering fuel costs and maintenance costs. So, yeah, that's pretty much what we do.
Now, we were talking off air, and it also plays a big role in accidents and fines and things like that as well, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like, so not we talked about the amount of admin work it saved, but also making people stand up, put their hand up for what they've done as well.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a big part of it for you.
Oh, definitely. And you knocked it right on the head there. We always look at what we can say at the coalface, with maintenance and fuel and staff, but we never really look at the cost savings with the admin people working in behind the scenes, the amount of time that they got to spend sifting through information, whereas we can simplify it for them, and we can either give them event-based happenings, or we can do reports from that are done on ad hoc or on a daily, weekly basis. Just makes it so much easier for these businesses to take some of the complication out and simplify it for them.
So a business could also use the logs from the trackers about how long staff were on site for different jobs, like from a timesheet point of view too, couldn't you?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Not only knowing who's driving the vehicle, but how long they're on. We can use that business intelligence to help these businesses, down the track, work out, their charging rates and what they need to charge. And some of the successes that we've had is billable time. An electrician or a plumber service industry goes out and does a job. Now, the customer generally only sees the worker for a few minutes here and there. And they go, they're only on site for half an hour, but in actual fact, they're probably there for an hour and a half. And this gives them the ability to actually say that billable time on site.
Yeah, correct. In a life gone past, we had, I think it was one of the first systems to come out was run by Navman, I think, and we had a delivery service with some trucks. Anyway, we allowed like an hour for a delivery, so to speak, but we could use those trackers if we were there held up on site longer to actually charge them so we weren't doing ourselves out of money. So if they got past what was the allowable threshold of our delivery time, we could charge them extra if we got stuffed around on site, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's a great system. I mean, a business that's got, staff cars or any sort of fleet, I don't know how they would operate without it, to be honest. But no, it's a great thing. Look, how did you get into joining BNI, Les?
Oof. 2017, all them years ago. The current member at that point in time, his wife got a job down on the Sunshine Coast. You probably even know him. But he had to move down there, and I'd subbed for him a few times, and the business just basically tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Would you like to do it?" And it's like, hell yeah, I love it. So I got into BNI 2017. Within 3 months, I was the vice president of the chapter. Within 6 months, I was the president. If only I knew back then what I know now, you know, things may be different. But yeah, it was. It sounds like the usual story. If someone comes into the chapter and within 6 months they're running the show. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's how I become part of BNI.
And you're for so you're in Bernie's region, up in Cairns, and you're now a director consultant for Bernie as well, are you?
Yeah, so we had Sonia Noonan, who's now in running basically Adelaide at the moment with SDR, and she left in 2021, so I took over the region. Basically, she suggested it. Bernie tapped me on the shoulder, and it's like, yeah, I love it. And yeah, so I've been area director for 6 years.
Yeah. Oh, you're area director. Sorry. Yeah. Right. Fantastic. Yeah, and be a pretty hard gig under Bernie. I've met him a few times. He seems like he'd be hard to get on with on a good day.
Oh, terrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't know how I do it.
We'll have to get him on one day.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah.
Get him on.
He's
So
got a
look,
few good stories.
oh yeah, I don't doubt that for a minute. So look, how have you use BNI to help grow your business?
I think I could do better in this. I was actually thinking about this over the weekend I've been able to get in front of, I started out as an ambassador back in the day, I think 2018. And, I was on to visit other chapters. I wasn't there to promote my business, but, I was wearing my uniform. So you get that visibility. And over the years, I've slowly started to pick up some of the chapter members. Definitely education one-to-ones. Your weekly referral request is so important to educate people on what businesses that you can help, but certainly also businesses that you don't really need, you don't want, because you don't want to be, throwing the punches in the air for nothing. And probably one of the successes I've actually had is working along with the gyms guys up here.
I
You know, they're again, as you mentioned before, about being able to see the billable times. Those guys are working on like their set rate, so they need to know that are they being effective in what they're doing. So that is one of my success factors at the moment. But education, I think, is really important for the chapter members to know who you're really looking for.
Yeah, one-to-ones are vitally important, aren't they?
Mhm.
Talk us through, do you use BNI to help you in any facets of your business? We hear a lot about people going, I use this person for this, that person for that. Have you got any stories where BNI people have helped you actually work out things in your business?
Um, very good question. I mean, having them, being able to, point me in the right direction. I mean, I've had BNI members get me out of fixes before. One of the guys that's in my chapter, it's like, hey mate, I need you to come up on. I've got a house inspection coming up. Can you do it? Like, and for those guys to be able to pivot and get it done, ASAP. Look, that's a little thing that they've been able to help me in. You know, being I suppose for me, I do a lot more helping than say, for instance, they help me, but just putting me in touch with the right people too. That's key for my business. We just had a new member join a couple of months ago. Sorry, at the end of last year. Sorry, he joined, and I did a weekly referral request, and I was talking about driver IDs and vehicles getting stolen and how we can assist in that. And that afternoon, he had a referral through to me for his CEO. I run that CEO. And we got to talk, and funnily enough, can I mention the name?
Yeah.
It's an NDIS company called Senior Helpers, and so I was talking with those guys about the tracking, and I put something together for them. But my wife is actually an aged care worker, and she was looking for work. And I asked the question of this CEO, and she goes, "Tell her come and visit this person next week and get her details in." So within a week, she had a job. So in personally,
Yeah.
yeah, one of my chapter members helped me personally in my life, which was pretty good, pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Now look, the next question, I know that you're an area director, so you spend more time in BNI network than most. But I'm gonna ask you the question this way. How much time do you think a BNI member should spend on BNI a week to make best use of it?
Well, Bernie harps on about everyone has the same amount of hours, 168 hours a week. And we spend a third of that sleeping, probably a third of that trying to entertain ourselves. But I think at a minimum, probably 3, 4 hours a week. Now, in the beginning, when you first come into BNI, that seems like a lot of time to take out of your business. But that investment is it's key. You have to set aside at least an hour and a half, for the meeting minimum, and then at least one to one. And to get it done effectively, you need it over an hour or a little bit more than an hour to do it effectively. So at a minimum 3 to 4 hours a week, definitely on BNI.
Which is a small amount of time given the expertise and the salespeople. Like if you treat them all as your sales team, it's a small amount of time to give up, isn't it really? Like you think if you're doing that, if you're doing that effective and you're educating those people that you meet with about what your business does and your ideal referral, then, in working on your business, in effect, using BNI as a conduit, it's not a huge amount of time, is it?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I probably spend way too much time on it, but again, if you have that passion and you love it, that time just literally flies by anyway. Yeah, so the personal development. We always talk about how businesses can get referrals and make money and all that sort of stuff, but the personal development side of things is just you know, second to none. I've seen people, literally get up with a referral with a piece of paper, and all you could see was that piece of paper shaking. And within time, they were getting up and actually not having a piece of paper and doing that referral request. Basically, I wouldn't say ad hoc, but they'd already practiced it. And this one person I remember actually getting up and singing his referral request. So, he definitely didn't have the voice for the song, but I'll tell you what, it was memorable and, people remembered, and he got a lot of referrals.
Righto. Now that you've mentioned personal development, I want to talk to you about the conference recently, last week, whenever it was in Sydney. Um, your thoughts on the conference holistically?
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Love it. I think that was about my fourth or fifth conference that I've been to, national conference. Um, and the first couple were like, wow, like this was amazing. The Sydney conference, again, being part of the DNA team, having the Thursday with the DNA team was just phenomenal. I remember we were talking up there, it really hit home for me was that first talk by Phil Berg in the how are we using BNI, and the question he asked was who loves helping people within the BNI world, and pretty much everyone put their hand up, and he said, "Oh, so who's actually making money out of it?" There was a lot of hands that actually went down, and that really hit home for me. It was I love helping people, and I love doing the BNI thing, and but for me, I need to get more out of it, and again, it comes down to, as we spoke before, education of your chapter members, but getting around to things like the conference. I beat the drum every week with my chapters about going to these conferences, or at least get on and do some training. We can always learn new things, but the great thing about the Zoom training is that we actually do is you get to meet other members from other areas. And then, if I get on there and they go, oh, so what do you do this? Oh, I do GPS training, help businesses, monitor the driver behaviors of their staff. Oh, wow. You know what? I know a concrete company that you could certainly use, so, you're always getting those little referrals here and there. And I think just going to the summit and the range of people that were there. And you mentioned that, there are some businesses in your area and particularly even in mine that were missing. And we get to touch those people and interact with them. And we
Yeah.
then end up, one, they can be a referral source for us, or we be a referral source for them too. Um, yeah, but it was phenomenal. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the personal development side of it was fantastic. I think my biggest takeaway was just how much of the BNI system I'm not using. You know what I mean? Like I'm not using BNI. It's the leads and the potential and the membership potential as far as getting me leads back to me. I'm not using that enough. So but no, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And definitely encourage next year, same time. It's in May and it's in Melbourne. I don't know the exact dates, but it's in Melbourne. So again, good, easy place to go to. Cheap flights if you get in early enough, and hopefully we get some more Queenslanders along. No, that's good.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
very good. So look,
yeah. I have to break out the overcoat.
you have to break out the overcoat. Yeah, by May it could be a bit cool in Melbourne, or sunny 1 minute, rain in the next, one of the two. Look, given your journey to
Pretty
BNI,
much.
yeah, given your journey today in BNI, what's the one bit of advice that you would give to anyone listening?
Well, what is? Just sit down and seriously think about what you're looking for in BNI. It's, as far as your development, that sort of thing, but also education, education, education. I think I can't stress enough, doing the podcasts. Like some people, like say for Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, even the sunny coast, you might have to drive an hour to get to a job.
Yep.
Great time to sit down and not sit down and you're driving, but listen to a podcast. And like what these the BNI members don't realise is, I mean, you've got Ivan's podcast, you've got your podcast. These are all things that can be used in the BNI for your CEUs. But there are certain podcasts that will resonate with you and change the way you do business. And so education, I think, is certainly key. And doing the one-to-ones, getting to know your chapter members, what they do, but specifically what you do, what you're looking for, what you're not looking for. So yeah, education and one-to-ones, I think, are really, really important as far as the KPIs. And once you start doing those, everything just falls into place.
Yep. Yeah. No, you're 100% right. I like the function that the BNI International and Ivan's podcasts have. You can go on to the main page of it, or even on the app, and you can search, put in keywords. So I use that a bit. Like, say if I'm thinking I want to get a bit more into referrals, it'll bring up all the podcasts that talk about that. And it's fantastic. And you're right, we all drive around, they're only 10 minutes long, whether you squeeze 1, 2, or 3 in a journey. And yeah, there's some really good knowledge in there from people who've been doing it. I mean, it's 40 years, right? So you've been around a little while, but not as long as what some of those speakers they have on there have been on there for ages, haven't they? So,
oh, for sure. And I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed so much that I'm actually a bit of a tragic because I actually do podcast emails up for the chapter members on a weekly basis. So I'll pop in 5 or 6 really key podcasts. Especially if I'm doing a one-to-one, and sometimes the one-to-ones won't just be with chapter members. Maybe someone from the region asking a question, reaching out. And I, and I actually probably one of the other thing is to listen. Like they gave us two ears and one mouth, and we need to use it in proportion. And I do a lot of listening to people, the leadership teams, and sometimes I'll base a series of podcasts for that week on something that we've had happening within the chapters, whether it be good, bad, or ugly. It's all about educating everyone and making sure that we're all moving in the same direction.
Yeah, we do the same in our chapter. The podcast becomes the education piece. So listen to the podcast, talk about the education piece, and we tend to swap that around with things that we might, if attendance starts to get a little bit out the door, we'll do it for a couple of weeks on that. So we tend to use it as a bit of a fixer in our chapter for what we might be dragging the chain on. So
Yeah, and actually, I reached out to the network education coordinator this morning and said, "Hey, mate, I think we need to do an education piece on getting your profile up to 100%."
yes,
He goes, "Oh, I was about to reach out to you because he's not going to be here this week." And it's like he asked me to do it, and I'm thinking, okay, well, that's pretty relevant. And so I've got a PowerPoint ready to go for that. Yeah, like I had Bernie ring me one day, and he goes, "Can you just open up BNI Connect?" So I did, the new version of it, and he goes, "Can you have a look at your profile?" And I looked down, it was at 98%. And I'm going, "You're kidding me." I'm the area director, and I've got to be setting the example. And yeah, so I've got my profile up to 100%. I can proudly say so. Yeah,
98's fine. 98's fine. It's when you go looking for someone and there's nothing on there. There is
yeah,
nothing more frustrating. And I actually had one of the chapters I'm a DC for. I actually had a lady stand up in there and go, and she took it upon herself as education coordinator as mentor coordinator to get everyone's profile up to date because she stood up and said, I didn't refer to this person because I couldn't find their information. And I was like, all right. So yeah, so she's whipped everyone into shape. So good
yeah.
on her. Yeah, cool. All right, mate. Well, look, I always ask this question. What's the one core value of BNI that resonates with you?
Traditions and innovations, mate. That's the one that I mean, I get all the other ones, but for me, I'm a bit of a tech nerd. So we're talking about the traditions. Our traditions are the meeting, things
Yeah.
that we do on a weekly basis, week in, week out. But the innovation, I think, is really important. And when I come into BNI, we were still filling the slips out. The three slips, the triplicate slips, and the secretary treasurer or the VP would run around grabbing all the slips, and the pink one here, the yellow one there, the white one here. It was just like, oh my goodness, and and when they launched the app, that was amazing. And they're adding so much more to that app, every couple of months. And so I think that's the innovation of it, and how we do the meetings, and going through COVID, how they pivoted within literally weeks to having us all on Zoom and continuing on. So, BNI is a very innovative organisation. And I think if anyone has an idea for BNI, they can actually get onto the support page and actually make suggestions to do that if that's going to help improve the system. So, yeah, that's my core value anyway.
Yeah, BNI connectors going ahead leaps and bounds. And it's such a good tool to use. It's got search functions in it now. Like, you can type in accountant and bring up every accountant in Australia on it, right? So, I
Yeah.
mean, you talk about how to expand your network and make BNI work for you. As Phil Berg said at the conference, BNI, he says it stands for batteries not included. Right? People, yeah, you pay your $1,500 membership, but it's like, how much are you going to get out of it?
Good.
Price
Yeah.
The price of your membership doesn't change if you derive 80% of your business from it, or you derive 2% of your business and just get your membership paid. The price is
Yeah.
a price. It's just how much you're going to put into it to get out of it. So, no, excellent, mate. How can listeners get in touch with you?
Um, so, my email is sales at telematics for you. And yeah, so It's TELEMATIX number four letter u.com.au. It does trip up people. Telemetrics, I think I
That's
hear quite often, mate. But yeah, and my phone number, always available, 0480 277 410.
and
Is how people can get in contact.
what chapter are you in
I
Cairns?
currently I'm currently in BNI Everest. Yeah, so where we actually we were the top 10 last month, and we're aiming for top 10 again, and hopefully before the DNA summit in Brisbane in August, we're hoping to actually shoot up to number one, because there's no chapters currently at the moment on 100%. The top ones are at 95. We're at 90 currently. So yeah, we're shooting for number one, which is a great goal
Is that in Australia?
in Australia, mate. Yeah, so 280 plus chapters, 287, I think.
Yeah.
Um, we were definitely, 18 months ago, we were definitely struggling. And but in that time, they've put on 20 plus members
Yeah.
in the last 18 months. So yeah,
Oh, well, watch this space.
oh, definitely
That
for
could be
sure.
the call to arms for Bernie to be on the podcast when it's number one.
Definitely, yeah, yeah. Oh, hey, yeah. Why not? Why not? Yeah, we'll get it to number one, and yeah, true.
Uh, Tell him I've laid the challenge out for him.
I'm sure he's up for it, mate.
Yeah, good. All right, Les, as always, I've known you for a while now, but as always, great to have a chat, mate, and look forward to catching up with you down in the Big Smoke in August.
No worries at all. I'm certainly looking forward to it, Tony.
Yeah, all right, mate. Thanks very much. Catch you next time.